Hello and welcome to Teacher Needs a Drink podcast. I am Elvis, your host. I'm here to let you know that this is a not safe for work podcast. We are teachers at the end of the week and really the end of our ropes, and we'd like to be able to talk honestly and openly about education without having to worry about losing our jobs. So we'll be using pseudonyms throughout the podcast, hence the Elvis. I'd like to give a very big shout out to all of our patrons over at Patreon. That's right. If you want to support us, give us a little love, and get access to over 100 different episodes of special exclusive content, sign up for our Patreon. Go to Patreon, look up Teacher Needs a Drink podcast. It's only $5 a month, and not only do you get access to all that info, and you get to join an amazing Facebook group where you can chat and text, you also get your name right at the beginning of the podcast like these beautiful people. A big shout out to Eccentric ESOO Lady, Terry J, Justin M, Tracy B, Miss Wonderstats, Quentin P, Ecabex, Mistress Mischief, Natasha S, Miss Anthropy, Princess Buttercup, Dragon Lady, Kelsey, Helena C, Aaron B, Stephanie S, Maggie M, Texas Teacher Kristen, Miss Sunshine, James and Allie J, Jody D, Samantha D, Lisa C, Rachel, Jen Genie, Exhausted Band Director, Kimberly K, Jessica A, Swivel Ev Owners, Amanda F, Ariana L, Physics Runner, Steph, Michael M, William P, Aldrich T, La Scorpianita, Britt M, Teresa H, Biker Teach, Marsha M, Christina B, Kristen B, Jason F, Abby B, Sarah B, Regina M, Josie S, Sam B, Mary E, Jamie B, Kristen W, Vanessa J, Mary C, RJ R, Kristen C, Johanna H, Irma A, Nimi, and Sarah N. Thank you guys so much. I'd also like to give a big shout out to our sponsor at Lud Lamb Dramatics. If you are a theater teacher or you know one in your building, go to ludlamdramatics.com. They have some of the best content to help out theater teachers out there. They have exclusive classroom posters that explain theater concepts for your kids that take a lot of the guesswork out of like what you need to do. And they're only $8 a pop. They're huge. Anyway, that's that. My friends, it's the end of January. We made it. It's going to be February 1st when this comes out. You guys can literally watch this podcast or listen to this podcast and then go watch like Wakanda Forever on Disney+. Woohoo! That's not a thing. That's just what I'm going to do because it's a snow day. Anyway, I love all you guys. Please enjoy this episode. Thanks. Oh yeah, one last thing. If you have something you'd like to share with us at Teacher Needs a Drink podcast, why don't you hit us up through the contact page of our website? You can leave a voicemail that might be played on the message, or you can even just send us a message through it. Anyway, love you guys. Please do it. I love to hear reader mail, and talk to you soon.
Balls, 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 balls.
Balls, balls, balls. Oh, I can sing along with that. Yay!
Balls, 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 balls.
I got to start the show. Welcome to Teacher Needs a Drink podcast. I am Elvis, your host, and today I am joined by some of my favorite people. Let's get started listing them off. We have Mr. Count Chocolate!
Indeed, I'm going to be your favorite fudgesicle tonight because it is freezing where we are. Hello, all.
It is so cold here right now. So cold. I was in Chicago the week before visiting family and getting away from it all. And it was cold there, but it was about the same. It was 34 and overcast. And there were like beautiful clouds and snow everywhere. I was like, this is great. I can't wait to go home. And then it followed me here. And it's cold and snowy here. Actually, it doesn't have the pretty snow. And of course, it's my fault. I should never have left Texas. What was I thinking? But also with us today, we have Mama Chicken!
Hey! That's a chicken a la queen to you.
I love it. And joining us after a long absence, eating always exotic food, Miss Sparkles!
Hey, y'all!
I'm so glad you can make it. And last but not least, the sweet one, Miss Bunny O'Hare!
Hey, Elvis. Hey, folks.
Hey, everybody. Well, I'm glad you guys are here. As I was telling the host before, I didn't really feel up to doing this episode this week. I have just been overwhelmed with all of the crap that I need to do, but it's one of those things where I can tell I'm a little down and I'm a little depressed. I'm doing a lot of check-ins because there are things when I go to do them, they take like 10 minutes. And I'm like, why the hell have I been putting this off for 4 days or 5 days and letting anxiety build up? Like, I've got to do dishes and I've got to send these emails and I got to do this. And then I sit down and it took like half an hour. I was like, oh, okay. Maybe I just need to reality check myself. But then again, sometimes we don't have the spoons to deal with stuff, and it's okay to take a break and just feel poopy and mopey and sad and all that stuff. Womp womp. But I personally am feeling better. I feel I'm on the upside of things. I'm having more happy days than down days, which is always a great trend. But how are things going with you guys? Miss Sparkles, I need to hear from you because it's been a while. Let's hear what's going on with you. What's been going on at all? It's been like, I don't think I've talked to you since before Christmas.
Yeah, it's been a minute. Things are great. I'm still not teaching anymore, and that's so good. But I do still work at a school, of course, and that is sometimes difficult. Really working on getting that remote job of my dreams, y'all, so I can work on my couch and my jams. I'm still in grad school, and I'm in a class that I really, really hate. But it's required, so I at least have to make a C. And that's my goal, is I just want to make a C in this class and be done with it.
Well, fair enough.
That's the
C is
opposite
for
of me
cookie.
normally.
C's get
Yeah,
degrees.
well,
That's
normally
good enough for me.
C's get degrees. Normally, I want to make A's. Like, I want to make straight A's. I want to do really well. But this class, I was like, you know what? I just want to pass.
And that's okay.
And that is okay. That is what's right for my mental health. Mr. Sparkles and I are getting ready to move to a new apartment. We have Sparkles' puppy. He's very cute. You may hear him bark at some point because he is very vocal. In fact, leave it. Sorry, he was chewing on our drink carrier from dinner. And then I start directing my second professional gig in March.
Oh, wow. Congratulations. That's exciting.
Thank you. I'm really pumped.
Maybe we can make it to see this one.
It's in April, so you guys should come see it. It's at the end of April, and it is Steel Magnolias.
Oh, I'm going to be in Tijuana then. Sorry.
What?
Yeah, that whole month. It's my life.
You are not. You are a liar and a fraud.
No, I go on tour. I do this trick with like ping pong balls and a donkey. It's amazing. So, also with us today, Miss Mama Chicken.
Woo!
Mama Chicken, what's going on with you? It's been a minute with you too. It's been a couple weeks. We've been recording early. And you're still like doing stuff at the time of day.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, my daughter's taekwondo goes until 6:30, and so I have to pick up the chickadee. Then we don't get home till around 7, and then making dinner. There's no way I'm done by 8. It's just no way. But anyway, I've been good. It's been overwhelming. There's been some family issues. You know, my mom broke her hip, and she's finally home and, adjusting to walking on said, repaired titanium hip.
They built her stronger than before.
Yeah, that little joint, that ball joint thing is titanium.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, now you get to be one of those fancy people that can't go through the, what is it, the thing at the airport.
Yeah, if she gets an MRI, her hip's going to start going bonk, 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 bonk.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot to do at school right now, but taking it day by day, doing my thing.
That's awesome. And then Count, how are you doing?
Hey, man, I'm doing all right. I have no complaints. Things are going well. Family's going strong. So the Countess and the Chocolate Drops are doing all right. The oldest Chocolate Drop is busy. She's been singing her heart out and auditioning for choirs, and she's ready to take stage for theater soon. She's doing it. And let me tell you, it's keeping us busy, but I'm excited. I'm excited because I get to see her do what she loves. For the most part, kids are taking care of business at work. In the world of counseling, if you have a slow day, it's a good thing, right? So I
Yeah.
think that there's been a lot of those days, and that's going well. And we're getting kids across the stage for graduation already. I've already had a few graduate early. We put some plans together, and when that comes, to fruition, that's just a really good feeling. You get to see someone finish already, and then they withdraw them, but they can come back and still participate in commencement and graduation ceremony. Thank you for asking.
That's great. And Miss Bunny O'Hare, you've had some events lately. How are you?
I am doing okay. I was telling the other hosts before we started recording, we had some major home repair stuff done at Casa O'Hare recently, and I was afraid it was going to be a much longer ordeal than it was, and we got lucky and got like the most amazing crew of people out here who were like racing to beat the weather. We're having some inclement weather in our area right now, and they were racing to get us taken care of, and they did, and it's amazing. So that was a whirlwind because the guy came out and gave us the quote on Friday, and then the work started at 8 a.m. Sunday morning. So it was a lot. Also, I got to teach something new and different this weekend.
What?
On Saturday.
They let you do something different?
This wasn't for school. This was through my church, and y'all are going to love this because you've met me, but I got to help teach a sex ed class.
Oh my God, I wish I had been in that class.
I would pay good money to ask questions in the back.
Funny is?
It was, y'all, I am not kidding when I tell you that this curriculum was more comprehensive than what I got like in my high school health class.
Oh, I'm sure.
Ooh, did you learn
And
anything?
I mean, like, it was church. We weren't giving like style tips or anything like that. Like, but just as far as how in depth it went about, like, we didn't separate by gender. All of the dudes heard the girl stuff and all of the girls heard the dude stuff because you need to not be ignorant. And it went into depth about contraception and how the things work. And it was, I have to say that nearly 2 decades of teaching middle school had me well prepared for it because there was nothing that those little children could say or ask that was gonna shock me, and none of it did. I was like, oh, here's what it is, y'all. So yeah, it was really interesting, and now I kind of want to go get certified to be a health teacher.
That's really cool. That could be a new change, but it's probably a different crowd than the church crowd when you have to teach in public school.
That's true. There was
not to mention
they were such a sweet little group. There was a lot of just like looking down, avoiding eye contact. The facilitator that was like in charge of it, the head person, had the wonderful foresight to bring in pipe cleaners as fidgets. And so there was a whole lot of like kids just staring at their pipe cleaners while the conversation was going on. But they did ask good questions, so it was fine.
That's really, really smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, because those kids will be squirming during all that.
Yeah, I thought.
Oh my gosh, they were.
I thought
there was a lot of avoiding eye contact going on.
I thought you were going to say that they used the pipe cleaners to make penises, but maybe that's just because I have a filthy mind.
All right,
I didn't
use the cleaner to make your genitalia. Go ahead and just match it up.
No, but it was really funny hearing our sweet, like, loving, wonderful children's minister talking about going to the gas station to buy condoms.
Get them somewhere.
I mean, like, she straight up walked in with a box of condoms and unwrapped one and was like, okay, here's what it looks like. Here's how it's used. Here's, and if you are too embarrassed to go buy condoms. You do not need to be having sex. So it was, I am not kidding. It was like a little bit, we had the first session on Friday night and then it was like all day Saturday, and it was a better presented and more comprehensive sex education than I got in all of high school. So
that's awesome. Now I can ask Bunny all the questions I have about sex.
So we used to take the students to a like local like science museum to get their sex ed education, and we'd separate them, boys and girls, and one of my co-teachers was in with the boys, and she said one of the boys had his hands in his pants the whole time. And she was like, do I address it? Do I not? And I think she ended up just not doing anything about it because she felt, obviously awkward.
No, that needs to be addressed.
Ugh.
No. I mean, maybe not draw
no.
attention and like shame the child from the class. But that's behavior that does not need to happen in public or a classroom, and it needs to be stopped. Like, don't shame the child. Like, get your hand off your dick right now. But I mean, like, hey, you, stop it.
Shame.
We'll be having words with you and your parents and a priest later.
I don't know if I'd be able to stop myself from going, what are you doing?
I know, me too. But this particular teacher is she was always very reserved and very quiet and very calm. And she just kind of came out and looked at me and said, we have a situation.
I work with a lot of pre-K and kinder and first grade kids. And I've become very, very good about just saying, like, I'll make eye contact with a kid and just be like, get your hand out of your pants. Like in the middle while I'm talking. And usually they do it so quick that when people start looking around to see who I was talking to, it's over. So I've said that lots of times. I'm like, get your finger out of your nose. Get your hand out of your pants. Don't do that. I'm like, oh. But they usually stop because they immediately know they've been caught before anyone. So I don't feel I'm shaming them. But if I was like, little Henry, please quit playing with your tiny penis, it'd be really bad.
I like to try to embarrass my students to get them to stop being goofy. Like, that doesn't sound right. I like to mild humiliation. Well, just something to make them stop. Like when you got two boys that are like slap play hitting each other, and then they're like at one point their hands are kind of just almost like they're holding hands, and I'll be like, "Are you guys holding hands? What's happening?"
Oh,
and then they're like, "Oh my God."
But what's interesting and what I like about our Gen Z kids is that they don't really get offended by that so much because there's so many gay things. I think it's something I approve about the little kids, where if you tell some of the Gen Z kids, like, dude, are you gay? Like, yeah, so. I'm like, oh, no, that's great. Hey,
there's definitely a lot more gender fluidity.
It's coming.
The gayer, the better.
The new generation. I agree. I'm with Sparkles there. This is from the Reddit, and it's from user Pots Scavenge. It says, my coworkers and I all have emergency lesson plans for if certain students are absent. They're the fun plans that those few students cannot handle and will ruin it for everyone else. We all know who those students are. My entire cohort is just 4 teachers. We all teach the same students throughout the day. If one of my troublemakers is absent in the morning, I text my coworkers to let them know that they can do the fun lesson with my class that day, and they can do the same for their classes. The week before Christmas, one of those troublemakers got COVID and was gone for the week. It was glorious for that class. They've got to have so much fun that they wouldn't have been able to have if that one child had been there. He would have ruined it for all of them. So my friends, my host, have you guys been in a similar? I'm sure we've all had the classes where that child is there. And yeah, I would love to do this activity, but that child is going to be the reason we can't, or is going to ruin it. Tell me your stories. I'm sure you guys have had them. Who wants to go first?
I definitely have 2 lesson plans at times for the classes who can handle it and the classes who can't. Like, I had a class come in last week and be like, Miss, we heard the second period got to do blah, 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 blah. And I was like, well, yeah. They were like, how come we didn't get to do blah, blah, blah? I'm like, because it involves being up out of your seats and being able to interact with other people without hitting them. And they were like, oh, yeah.
I feel that very deeply. But except I feel like it's almost not that it's just one student. I feel like there's 2 or 3 students a lot of days that are the reason I can't do that.
Oh,
Because
yeah,
if it was
for
one
sure.
student, I could almost tailor the activity and do it around them. But it's usually 3 or 4 like, no, this group of assholes is going to ruin it for everyone. We can't even watch a movie without them talking. Sparkles, surely you got something about this one.
Oh yeah. So I've had whole classes of those. Usually, no offense to our listeners who perhaps were athletes at one point in their life, but it was almost always my class where all the athletic boys were together. And I had a principal once who said, large groups of teenage boys are just trouble and you should avoid them at all costs. And this was a male principal, so he lived that life. And it's true. Anytime I had a class that was like all the athletic boys, it was just fucking a nightmare. We couldn't do anything cool or fun or on your feet or whatever because they were constantly just like poking each other and touching each other and messing with each other and, you know, messing with the girls and moving the chairs and making so much noise. And I was like, y'all are just going to sit here and do worksheets because y'all can't handle fun. Like they can't handle it. And it just made me so fucking miserable. There was always that one class every year that I was just like, you guys don't get to do anything fun. And yeah, they'd be like, well, I heard first period got to watch a movie and make a dance and do this and this. And I was like, right. Because first period knows how to behave. Y'all act
You
like
guys tell them straight
kindergartners.
up. First period
And I
doesn't suck
would.
like you guys do.
Yeah, I'd be like,
You
first
guys are a
period
bunch of
knows how to
assholes.
behave. Hey, y'all act like you're in kindergarten. So when you can act like mature young people, we can do something cool. But until then, here's a worksheet. Have a nice day.
I'm picturing a class that I had, kind of like your equivalent of an intensive math class. And there was one year that they were blocked, which was fine. But we decided, actually, I didn't decide. Admin decided to like split the classes by gender. Or so there was an all boys class, there was an all girls class. I thought that was a terrible idea. Like, I need some young ladies in my classes because otherwise boys are just I feel like if they know it's going to be an all boys class, they won't even shower. Like, not that it's all day long, but if you start your day with it, it's like, yeah, it's fine. Whereas if you had anyone else in that class, it wouldn't work. Whenever we did an activity where we combined it, I mean, the classes were next door. It was always like, we're coming to your room. My room smells terrible. And I don't know who it is today. And you know, JoJo's out of his seat. Eric can't sit still. Kenny, like, I still remember all of their names. Like Kenny just farted. There's no windows in here. It won't dissipate. It's just in here. Like, and I used to tell him, like, guys, this is why we can't have nice things. Like, whenever, like, if there was a young lady that like ran a pass from the office, like, yo, who's that? Oh, what's Shorty's name? No, Shorty doesn't want to talk to you. Shorty has a real name and probably a real man. So let's leave it alone. But yeah, the immaturity sometimes would get the best.
I mean, I agree with Bunny and with Sparkles and with Count. Like, to me, it's not usually one kid. It's like there's that class that like they get to do something cool, but y'all can't handle it. So there you go. But I feel like if it was just one kid, first of all, I kind of feel sad for that kid. Like, you know. But
Aww.
second of all, like, if it's that one kid, send them to a different room for a day. Like, I don't know.
Hey guys, guess what?
What?
What's up?
What?
We have a
There you go.
Patreon.
Oh my God, I completely forgot about it. 'cause
Yes.
it's gone.
That is so cool.
I know
What
we
did
have
you
a
say?
Patreon for as little as $5 a month. You can get access to over 100 plus special exclusive episodes that are only available on there. We have interviews with the host. We have early lost episodes. We have lots of B-roll. We have lots of goofs. There's like parties where we're just drunk and talking the whole time. There's all kinds of stuff on there. So you should sign up and do it now because you also get access to an amazing Facebook group where you can meet lots of new, beautiful, handsome people. So come join up and sign up and do it now. Woo-hoo!
Do it,
Yay!
You
do it,
can do it.
do it.
Friends, would you rather have harpoons that are easily triggered for arms or have a shaman as your only doctor? My friends, who has thoughts?
I have a toddler, and harpoons for arms sounds like a good way to end up in the emergency room daily. So, we are going with Dr. Shaman, and maybe Dr. Shaman can hex a few of my enemies while they're.
I'm kind of with you. I mean, I like my arms, but I'm imagining if I have harpoons, I don't have fingers. And I gotta tell you guys, I love the way my hands can thing things with my fingers. I like to thing my hair when I'm washing it. I like to thing chicken while I'm eating it. There are so many amazing things. So I'm gonna go with the shaman, and I kind of got some of that hippie vibe too. So it flows with me. I mean, I do want to make sure Shaman can write me a script for antibiotics if I need it, but otherwise, I'm good with that. What about you guys? Count? Where are you going? You going to have them harpoon hands?
I don't know. I feel like I would end up like impaling myself, or just like accidentally like mixing
Shoot your
something
wife
in
in
the
the foot.
kitchen and then just like a harpoon shoots through my femur or something. So I think I gotta roll with the shaman. I don't know the downside to many shamans, so I'm just gonna assume that they have my best interest in heart and can help me stay healthy, and we're gonna roll with that.
Yeah. Mama Chicken, what about you?
A shaman doctor all the way, or Dr. Shaman all the way. Like, I feel
Yeah.
like harpoon arms that are like easily triggered would be so inconvenient and like startling. You know, like you're just
I
walking along and something like irritates you and you're like, holy shit, I just like, impaled
yeah,
that
like what if
dog. Like,
I'm scared to get like hooked into the ceiling or like a pretty woman
right?
walks by? I'm like, "Hi, my name
Like,
is."
please,
I'm like, "Oh
oh,
man,
right?
I don't want
So, I mean,
premature
like,
harpoon shootings."
and there's still Google and there's still like online, emergency clinics and shit. So you could easily like get around the whole, like, as far as like antibiotics or something like that. But I think having a shaman would be amazing.
But
So
here's
there's
the
that too.
thing. You know who had a shaman and they're not around because of it? Steve fucking Jobs. So I'm just saying there is something to be said
Yeah.
for medicine and not going on a fruit diet. Sparkles, what about you?
Oh, I'm getting a shaman doctor.
Do you already
First
have a
of
shaman
all,
doctor? Does she do the oho?
no. Oh, no. That would be either a curandera or a bruja. And
Okay.
a bruja is a witch, and you should generally stay away from them. I do have some friends who are curanderas, but I don't use them for my medical needs. But I would rather have a shaman or a curandera to help me with whatever, as opposed to harpoon arms, because I couldn't snuggle my puppy if I had easily triggered harpoon arms, and that would suck.
So there are some days where I want a life that's just a little more than what I have, where I just dream a little bit bigger. And those are the days I think of like the old video games. And there was one I used to love playing on the Super Nintendo. It was Castlevania. And you were Simon Belmont. And you were going to go get vampires. And you had this whip. And you could whip like chandeliers and whatever and like swing every single time. That was like how you moved around the game. And that looked really badass. That was actually my favorite part of the game was whipping things and just swinging around and like hitting the whip. Like I wanted to be Indiana Jones. And part of me thinks like harpoon hands is kind of like that. But I think of harpoons that I've seen and it almost looks more like a crossbow and like a dingly little rope. And I'm going to go with the shaman. I think I'm with you guys. Maybe it'll help heal me, help me sleep better. fix all my broken hearts. I'll give you love potions on whatever I want next. It will be great. All right, friends, I'd like to thank you for joining us for another episode of Teacher Needs a Drink podcast. I'd like to give a super huge thanks to all of my snow day peers that came, and even those who aren't having snow day peers and that are here. But a big thank you to Mr. Count Chocolate!
Always a pleasure. Thank you for allowing me to come and hang with you and the whole crew. I'm honored and much appreciation.
Oh, we love you, man. And also a big thank you to Miss Mama Chicken. Thank you for calling in from the West Coast. Or East Coast. East Coast. We miss you.
East Coast. Hey, well, thanks for having me back. It was fun. I miss you guys.
Yeah. And also joining us after her absence and enjoying her chicken vindaloo, Miss Sparkles!
It was actually lamb vindaloo. Bye, y'all.
Well, bye, Sparkles. We'll have you on again soon, I hope. And also Miss Bunny O'Hare!
Thank you for having me back. It was a pleasure as always.
It was lots of fun. Thank you guys for being here. Everyone out there, make sure you're taking care of your mental health. I know this time of year can be very stressful. And, sign up for our Patreon. It's awesome. All right, my friends, everyone out there, deep breaths, deep drinks. Cheers! Woohoo! All right, my friends, thanks for joining us for another episode of Teacher Needs a Drink podcast. I thank all of my hosts who joined me today. And if you have something you'd like to share with us here at Teacher Needs a Drink podcast, hit us up through the contact page of our website. I love getting reader mail. You can leave a voicemail, you can send us an email. Either one would be wonderful. You can do it at our website, teacherneedsdrinkpodcast.com. All right, I'd like to thank my sponsors at Ludlam Dramatics. If you are a theater teacher or know one in your building, go to Ludlam Dramatics right now. And also a big thank you to all of the patrons out there who support us and keep us going. All right, my friends, I love you. I think you're great. I'm getting through this. You guys will too. Kisses, love, cheers.